Not being nice to me today. All right, here we go for day two. So before we jump into today two, I want to tell you guys something that I think will put your minds at ease when it comes to blowing up in business. Okay. So I've been in business, like I told you guys yesterday, for 10 years, and all of the businesses I've grown have been organic, meaning I don't pay for ads or traffic to come into my business. My business has been grown completely organically through social media and through collaborations, referrals, the things that we'll talk about eventually. But what I will tell you is because I have such a bold and fiery personality and the way that I just am by nature, most of the time, the people in my world are silent lurkers. Almost all of my buyers were silent for a good amount of time, just watching in the background. When I've done live events like this, I have a very little amount of people, right? Compared to the 300 people in this group that actually come live, I have way, way, way more people that will watch silently behind the scenes and then poof, come out of nowhere. Yesterday, I ended this call. Within 2 hours, my DMs are flooded with people telling me, I just watched the replay. I was like, girl, it was like, it hasn't even been 2 hours. Why didn't you just come live? People love to watch replays. Over the last 2 years, my team and I have been testing live masterclasses, live events, because that's what I've grown my entire business doing is live events. What is working? What is not working? And there's a mix. We're seeing that people are not liking live as much as they once did. They're liking to just do things on their own. They're moms, they're busy, they're doing the things, right? But I want you to use this as understanding that even someone who has a multi six figure business, who makes six and multi six figure years, and there's not that many people live in the room, right? Does not dictate how much money you make. Just because you have a small following does not dictate how much you make. When I made my first six figures, I didn't even have 500 people on my email list. But I was very clear and specific about who I help and what I do and how I help them. Therefore, I was able to grow my business. It didn't require hundreds of thousands of people, right? Yesterday in the call, we talked about who you need to be in order to blow the fuck up. Like, who do you need to be in order for that to happen? Now, today we're going to talk about, do you even have the structure or the foundations to do that? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about what an actual business plan, 3-year plan would look like to blow up in the next 1 to 3 years. Okay. So I want to know in the chat, what limiting beliefs have come up for you since yesterday or today, or just you've had them around growing and scaling a multi six figure business? In my mastermind, I've had people say, well, I feel like I'm going to have to run ads at that level. I feel like I'm going to have to do so, like hire someone, or there's going to have to be this like big magical thing that happens in order to hit this number. Or people have told me, in order to hit this number, this thing has to happen, or I have to have this in place first, or I have to do this thing. And so I want to remind you that just might not be true. So put in the chat, what comes up for you around making six and multi six figures in your business? What do you think? You're like, I think this is like the thing that's like maybe holding me back. I don't have a big audience. I can't run ads. I don't have a team. Maybe it's something internal. It's your identity. Maybe it's an offer. What is it for you? Put it in the chat. What do you think is holding you back, holding your business back from making six and multi six figures? Is it identity? Is it strategy? What is it for you? For me, before I made my first six figures, I thought it was strategy, and I learned it was identity. And I had a coach continue to tell me over and over and over again, it's your mindset, it's your identity. And I kept telling her, no, it is not my mindset. I am convinced I will make this amount of money. I know I will make this amount of money. It is not my mindset. And there's a difference between your mindset being the issue, right? And it being the like, I really want it, versus like how you're operating from what identity, like we talked about yesterday. Okay. Yesterday, I also asked you guys, how much money do you want to bring in 2028? For that collective year, 2028, how much money do you want to have earned for one whole year? So not like all the years combined, but how much money do you want to make by year 2028? Like that my business needs to be bringing in, or should be bringing in, or I want it to bring in this amount of money. What is that number? Okay, fear of identity. I know it's my identity. Yeah. And that's the thing too. When I was talking to one of my clients today, we're talking about her building a $500,000 business over the next 3 years. So by 2028, she will be bringing in 500K years. But eventually she wants $1 million business. And so she said, my identity is just not ready for $1 million. I don't have the identity of $1 million. My business can't hold $1 million. And I told her when I hit my first six figures, even though I wanted to be a millionaire, and I was like, I will be a millionaire eventually, my identity was not ready to run $1 million business. It wasn't. And my strategy wasn't there, right? So, what I teach my students, what we learn is for identity leaping, right? Quantum leaping your identity to the version of you that can be stretched, but is not so far out of the ballpark that you can't even get yourself there. Because as you grow and scale to six and multi six figures, becoming a seven figure business owner is more realistic, right? It's your identity is able to say, okay, that is stretchy and scary, but we can grasp that concept more than under six figures to seven, right? That's such a wide gap that your identity is like, we're not there yet. And then we'll layer in like the actual business strategy and mapping. And then you'll see the gaps too of like, okay, that's not there yet. And that's what we'll do tomorrow for the 3-year plan. So I want to know in the chat, how much money do you want your business to earn in 2028 or by 2028? What is the magical number? So far, the biggest magical number in my mastermind is $250,000. That has been their magical. Some are more, some are like less, like 150K. Some are like 500K. Some are, the numbers range. But 250K seems to be a magic number for everyone. So I'm curious in the chat, 250K. I saw another one. 648K, 700K. Perfect. Okay. Now that you have your number, tell me in the chat, do you think your business can make that amount of money in 2026? Did you guys just see that? It's like an orb that just like went like this. That was scary. Okay. Can your business do that? Let me get my brain back on track. Do you think your business can do that in 2026? You told me how much you want to make in the chat in 2028. Can your business do that in 2026? Don't be shy. Bring mama the truth because I'm about to blow your brain. It's okay to say no. That's why you're here. I expect you to say no. Or I expect you to not know. If your business can make 250K, 648K, 700K in next year. I have no choice, so fuck yeah. No, I don't think so. Okay. When you come into my world, into my mastermind, which I've been talking about, the expansion room mastermind, everyone in the room is going to build a 3-year plan. And your 3-year plan will be custom made to you, your life, your personality, your identity, your human design, astrology. And no, you do not get to use any of those as excuses. You get to use them as power tools of what makes you you. Should you have an asynchronous business? Should you have more courses? Should you have more mid-ticket, high-ticket? What should your business consist of based on you? And it will be custom to every single person. But the 3-year plan is 3 tries to hit 1 income goal. So if you said in 2028, I want to make $250,000 that year, that means next year, 2026, we're going to build a business and we're going to start implementing a business plan that makes that amount of money. And you will probably miss that goal in 2026. That's literally why we start building it now. We start getting your identity ready for a business that makes that amount of money now. We start putting in the foundations and the systems and the actual tangible business pieces that make that amount of money now. You will miss what will happen at the end of 2026. You will audit your entire business plan, everything you did, what worked, what didn't work, and you will have a shit ton of data about yourself, your business, the way you execute, your mindset, your energy, and your actual strategy. And we will tweak it and you will try again in 2027, and then we'll do the same thing. And then in 2028, and by 2028, I can almost guarantee if you follow through, you will hit that. Now, the last time I did this, I hit my goal in 1.5 years. And I could have hit it faster, but I did a little dicking around. I'm not going to lie to you. I did a little bit of this whole like jumping in and out of the pool, in and out of the like momentum train versus like staying in the momentum. Okay. So this is what I teach in my mastermind. The mastermind, the expansion room applications are open. They close next Wednesday. You have 1.5 weeks to apply, put down your deposit, and get in the room. We have service providers, we have coaches, women ready to scale. Who here thinks, let me ask you this first. Who here thinks in their brain, I am too new to scale, to start scaling, to start thinking about scaling. I'm not there yet. I'm too new. Do you think that? Put it in the chat, yes or no. Tay, you're a freaking witch. I love it. Hell no. Okay, yes. Okay, here's what I want to tell you. That is me. Here's what I want to tell you. If you have on your mind, if you have on your brain, if you say, I want to build an empire, like we talked about yesterday, an empire meaning that you want a bigger life, more money, more impact, more freedom, you want more for yourself. It doesn't matter how new you are because your brain already knows you're meant for big shit. So we have to plan for big shit and execute as big shit to create that in the next 3 years. Who here wants to scale, make multi six figures in the next 3 years? 3 years from now. If you truly, truly want it 3 years from now, you have to start now. You have to start now. Being new is in your mind. Every single person here has something magic, some kind of power within you, within your personality, your gifts, your natural born gifts. You have something in you that makes you more advanced than me. It's already within you. You have that. You might be new to business, which is why you're in my world, because I can teach business all day with my eyes closed, hands behind my back. I can teach you business. You have the magic within you to take that business plan and blow the fuck up. I had a woman come into my world. She quit teaching. She was a teacher, quit teaching so she could be full-time at home with her mom, with her daughter, not her mom. So she could be a full-time mom at home, right? We built her business from service provider. We implemented coaching, teaching, and mentorship into her business model. In less than 9 months, she was making 40K quarters, 6-figure year, totally made way more in her business in 9 months than she ever did in teaching. That's how fast it can happen when you say to yourself, even if I feel new, even if I feel scared, even if the business concepts are new to me, all that means is I need to learn the skills, which is why you're here to begin with, right? It's the only thing missing. You have the magic, it's already inside of you. You already have the gifts. You have something to give someone, but how do you put that into a business plan and make it actually tangible? Okay. So when we talk this week about scaling, I want you to remember scaling is a mindset first. It is an identity first. It is a conscious decision first. If you want the life that you say you want, that you put on your vision board and you pin about and you talk about and you cry about, if you want that life, I'm asking you to come forward and build it. Do something about it. Don't just talk about it. Don't just want it. Don't just create vision boards and plans and fluff and shit around it. Create actual tangible plans and execute those plans to have it. I know for a fact, if you build the plan and you execute and you stick to that plan, you will create the results. Guaranteed. You will create the results. You will. But can you plan it, stick to it, execute it without going off the rails and being like, well, let's burn it down. It's not working. Let's change niches. Let's change offers. Let's quit this week. Let's come back to it this week. You have to be in your identity, regulated in the place of, just because I don't have proof today doesn't mean it's not working. Just because I don't have proof until this point doesn't mean it's not possible. The reality that you guys created today started in your mind. You wanted freedom. You wanted the business. You started it. You had no proof you could start a business before you started a business. You just did it because you wanted to. But now you're in it and you're not growing and expanding and scaling because you're still looking for proof that you can. You have to move forward without the proof. Simply by knowing you are in control of changing your whole life, of changing your whole reality. You have that power. It's already within you. So now let's talk about, can your business actually do that? If you have not yet, put in the chat how much money you want your business to bring in year 2028. From January to December of 2028, you want your business to bring this amount of money. 250K, 700K, 648K, 150K, $1 million. How much money do you want your business to bring in by that year? 500K. How much? We are going to make this a reality today. 500K, 300K, 250K. Amazing. I love it. This tells me right here, I don't care how new you are to business. I don't care if you've made $0, if you've made $85,000. You want something bigger. We're about to do it. Who's ready? Okay. Here is what happens. We want a number, but we don't actually plan to hit this number. When I tell people we're going to build a 3-year business plan and we're going to execute that for 3 years, and they're like, 3 years? I can't imagine planning for 3 years. I'm like, oh, really? How long have you been in business? Well, I really started like 7 years ago, but then I like quit and then I like changed directions. And then like 5 years ago, I quit my job. And then I've been doing, and I'm like, so for 7 years, you've been in business and haven't hit this goal. But I'm going to tell you, if you do this for 3 years, you could have the life you wanted. And you're scared of 3 years, but 7 years of doing nothing, of not having a plan, you've been willing to do that. But we can't do 3 years. Come on now. 3 years will go by like this. It will go by so fast, and you will be so glad that you did the work I'm asking you to do right now, because this work builds a $250,000, $500,000, $300,000 business in 3 years. It won't magically happen in 3 years because of something you didn't do over the last 3 years, where it's like, well, by 3 years from now, it'll be easier and I'll know more and I'll have the certifications and the skill, the same shit you said last year and the year before that and the year before that. What's changed? Because then I'll say to you, okay, well, how many leads do you need to get into your business to make that number work? Well, I have no idea. Well, what's your conversion rate? What do you sell? Lead to sales. What's that conversion? I have no idea. Well, what's your lead pipeline look like? I don't know. I just post on the internet. What? I do know my I help statement. Well, that's not bringing in $500,000. Systems does. An ecosystem does. An actual tangible business plan brings in that amount of money. Not I help statements on Instagram. And not to mention that now no one really gives a fuck about your I help statement. They're like, well, who are you? And what makes you you? And how are you different? And what can you show me and teach me? And what is a tangible result that I'm going to get when I work with you? That's what people want to know. But you haven't cleaned that up. You're not convicted in who you are and your magic and your fire. You're not building from a problem-solving business empire brain like we talked about yesterday. You're still in fear and lack mentality, but telling me 3 years from now, you want to make this amount of money because you think you'll be a different person, but you're doing nothing to change that except, well, I'm posting more and I hired a coach and we talk about reels and courses. That is not a big business plan. That is not a multi-six-figure company empire running woman. No. So let's talk about what actually creates a business of this magnitude, because it does require strategy, it requires math, and it requires systems and an ecosystem that we're going to put together. Most of the time, when I ask them how much they want to make, and then I say, okay, well, what are you selling? 1-to-1 offers, not scalable. $99 offers, pop-up offers, $55 offers, $47 downloads, lots of fucking freebies, tons. I mean, you're just swimming in freebies at this point. And then a $997 course. That's what I hear from most of you that you're selling. Who here is selling an offer regularly that is priced $3,000 to $7,000? Tell me in the chat. Do you have a container, a package that is 3 to 7K that you're selling? At least. No, not yet. Anyone? No. No. Okay. So it's safe to say that we're still in the low ticket range selling, but wanting multi six figures. So I can already tell you, no, your business cannot do that. That was the title of today is, can your business do that? No, it can't. Not yet, right? Strike one, we're already out on offers and what we're selling, the math does not math. If you want to make $250,000 and your course is $997, you need 251 people to buy that course, which means you need on average 10,000 leads. 10,000 organic qualified leads to convert at 2% to sign 251 people into your course. I will tell you right now, organically, that is not happening. It is the hardest, slowest way to grow and scale a business when you are newer. Nobody, nobody should be even considering running ads until your organic funnel is converting higher than 5% and you are past six and multi six figures, or you have a disposable income of thousands of dollars that you can throw into ads, which most of you either don't have or don't want to do. You should not even be considering ads. You don't have a scalable business model. Now, number two, do you have a one-to-many offer? Meaning you come in and you teach one to a group of people one time a week, one time every other week, and that is a scalable offer, or are you just selling one-to-one? Again, this is going to suck your time. It's going to suck your freedom. Then you're not making a bigger impact and you're not making more money because you need scalable business models, scalable offers. One-to-one is the biggest time suck. Here's what I want to tell you. I have been coaching for 10 years. Before I moved into this space of business, I taught women how to build group coaching programs. I did it for years. Whether you were new, whether you were advanced, it didn't matter. I taught you how to build, grow, and scale and launch group coaching programs. And so many people think that they have to qualify in getting a certain amount of one-to-ones before they can go into group. And that is not true. It's not true. You can choose to do group coaching at any point in your life. You can choose to do courses. You can choose to run any type of group container. And they're more powerful because when you're in a group of people, they start to learn from each other. They start to work together. One person will hear me coach one person, and then that will like spiral into these other things that you would have never asked or gotten if you weren't in the group. Margot's saying definitely scalable. Can you tell me more in the chat what that means? Okay. So if your business model currently stands and it does not have some kind of scalable offer that allows you to have more time, more freedom, it is scalable, meaning that it is one to many and you get freedom. You're making a bigger impact and it can hit your income goals. Okay. That will be the biggest number one indicator, because we also need to take into consideration how many organic leads you're actually going to pull into your business every single month. The lower in cost your offer is, the more leads you need to hit that goal, right? You would need more buyers and then you would need more leads. So if you want an actual organic business model that doesn't require leads and ads, and it doesn't require hundreds of thousands of people just to sell a course or a low ticket offer, you need to go mid to high ticket with your offers. What happens is a lot of you will follow coaches online who make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars selling low ticket. They run ads. And not only do they run ads, what happens is they will sell on the front end. So social media, they're selling to you a low ticket offer, a low ticket course. And on the back end, they're upselling you into a mid to high ticket offer. That is how those work. I already one to many already. Yes, but I need to raise my prices. Yes, one to many is scalable, but what are you charging? And what is your delivery method? Because when I was doing one to many, I also got capped because my delivery system, like the coaching delivery, was all on me being there, being live, being with them, doing one-to-one. So I was really trapping myself back into this one-to-one space in my group because I was giving too much delivery versus building a program where my clients can get results even when I'm not in the room. So in my mastermind and in my academy, they do get me. I do coach with them. I do come in and do live calls, live coaching sessions, one-to-one feedback, right? Or feedback in the mastermind, not one-to-one feedback in academy. But also I have a process, a framework that I walk people through. So when I'm not in the room, that's where you are, in the framework, in the process, getting the results even when I'm not in the room. And it has been mind-blowing when you put that power in your client's hands and you say, here is the process to get this result, go through that. We're going to come coach on it. And when we come back to the next call, I'm hearing like, I had so many breakthroughs. This happened and this happened and this happened. And I was living my life. I was being a full time mom. I was with my family during that period. And I'm getting DMs from clients. I had a client join my mastermind during pre-sale last Thursday night. Okay. She's a hypnotherapist. She does one-to-one hypnotherapy sessions. Incredible work. She was actually my hypnotherapist. Okay. Incredible at her job. But she was like, I am capped because I'm making 10K months, but I'm in one-to-one work. I can't scale past this point. And she said, and I haven't invested in my business in 2 years because I was absolutely traumatized by my last coach who made me feel absolutely shitty, never gave me a tangible plan. Every time I'd ask a question, it was always like fruity and fluffy and up in the air, and I never knew what she was saying. And so I was terrified. I've been terrified to invest. I've been terrified to even come here because I'm so scared of showing up to a container, let alone a group with a new coach. Nonetheless, she joined my mastermind last Thursday night. Fridays, I don't work, right? We got her onboarded, all that's automated. She went through my stuff on the weekend. Monday, yesterday, I came into the mastermind and we talked about her scalable business model together. She not only said, I've been terrified to even talk to you about my offers and my business model because I'm so scared to have this conversation because I'm scared to be shamed. Within this conversation, within 48 hours, we had her entire business model mapped out, scalable. She is so excited. She said to me, wow, I had no idea scaling would make my life easier. You said it would, but I was like, how? She then said, this was the fucking easiest thing I've ever done before, is having this conversation with you. I really needed to anchor that in and say it out loud. I've been fearing this conversation for 2 years because of the trauma in my past experiences, but today was massive. Just to have the conversation and now see it on the board. I wrote it down. This is her whole business model done, right? Like her whole map of how she's going to take clients through, scalable to 500K years. She said this was an orgasmic moment. She's also reached out personally to tell me, because you're autistic, which is your power, you're able to break things down and say this equals this equals this, instead of leaving it up to you and saying, I don't know, manifest it. Yes, I'm spiritual, but I'm also really practical and grounded in the work that we do together. This is what happens when you actually are willing to like crack this door open and get into your business brain and allow me to look at this from a strategic standpoint. And you build your offers to help your clients not only feel this ease and energy that you bring while holding the standard, but also allowing your clients to feel powerful in the work that they're doing. And she can get results without me because from Thursday to Sunday and then into Monday, she was able to go through the coursework and understand what we're doing here to bring in questions and conversation on Monday. We flush out the offer suite. She's ready to go. That is how fast it can happen. And that's how I set up my offers to be scalable. Okay. So I want to know who here, let's pause and take a moment, who here already knows I have no idea how to build a scalable business model to multi-six figures to hit the goal that I have in 3 years. You're like, I do know. I know exactly what to do. It's mapped out. I know my conversion rates. I just need to do it. Or you're like, I have no idea. I need help. I need support. Or maybe you're somewhere in between. Where are you at? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Then I'm going to tell you about a scalable model. Yeah, Emma, you're saying yes, you do know or no? Don't know. No clue. Lost. Not a clue. Okay. Somewhere in between. No, I know how to build it and scale it. Need to do it. Karina, yes, because you're in my mastermind. That's the perfect answer to say. Not a clue. Okay. Not a clue. Let me just give you a perspective shift here. Okay. If you have a $5,000 offer, group coaching program, one to many, you would need 50 people to join that container in 1 year to hit $250,000, which means that you need 2 to 5 clients every single month. And you would only need 2,500 leads versus 10,000 leads. 2,500 leads. 2,500 leads every year, 2 to 5 clients every month equals $250,000 business model from one $5,000 offer. When I say that to you, what comes up for you guys? Probably I don't charge 5,000. I don't know how to charge 5,000. Who would buy 5,000 from me? Or how do I get 2,500 leads into my business? Tell me in the chat. Leads are where I'm stuck. Where do they come from? In the middle, have ideas but need to get clear around it. Yeah. Where do you guys feel stuck? Do you know how to bring in 2,500 leads a month? Do you know how to create a $5,000 container? Leads are the problem. Leads are the problem. I feel like that's the freeze. I feel, how the hell would I charge high ticket when I'm just starting? Ooh, that's a good question. So let me answer that, okay? If you're operating from the identity of the version of you that we talked about yesterday that already makes, or that does make a $600,000 a year or a six-figure business, if you're operating from that identity, going back to what we talked about yesterday, you're not in survival fear decision making. Who am I to charge that? Well, I don't know how. Well, who would pay that? You're in expansion, empire, business, problem solving brain. If I need to charge $5,000, what should I offer? If I need to charge $5,000, what should I be doing to transform people's lives? Moving your identity from survival and fear and I don't know how and who would buy that to this is how I can charge this amount of money to change lives. This is what I need to do to problem solve for that problem, right? Instead of, I don't know how to get leads. Where would they come from? I'm not sure. It's, who is my ideal client? Where does she hang out? What is the easiest, fastest way to get new people to see my world, to get into my world? And then when they come, what should I do with them? Moving out of, I don't know how, to problem solving for your business. That is what happens in my mastermind. We shift that brain perspective. And then we walk through, okay, let's map out your model because everyone's model is going to be different. Let's map out your signature offer because everyone's signature scalable offer is going to be different. Let's map out the funnel between where leads come from and then what we do with them and then how we move them in down the funnel. Let's map what that looks like for every individual person based on your life, your capacity, and the goals that you have. But you have to get your identity shift to, I just want to solve this problem because I want this life and I know it's meant for me, not I want it, but I don't know how. What identity are you guys currently operating out of? I want it, but I don't know how, and I'm in fear and I'm feeling not good enough, which is okay, right? But it needs shifted. Or are you operating from the identity of like, no, I want this and I'm ready to do what it takes to go after it now? Which one are you in? Let's see. I feel like that's the free. Okay. Feeling uncomfortable charging that for group and leads. Okay. I don't know how to go from one to one to one to many. Emma, you need to be in the mastermind. That's exactly where we do that. And also in your academy portal, there's a whole thing called soul aligned offers that you can use to build a one to many offer. Especially being new. Gemma, okay. Gemma, I saw you in my community group and you keep saying you're new, but you don't, there's also this vibe about you that doesn't scream new to me. You're like, I want to be a boss bitch. I've been in business. I'm new, but I've also like, I'm investing, I'm doing these things, I'm showing up and I want this. So I'm like, you might be technically new in one area, but you're also giving the vibe of like, you need to stop calling yourself new because I don't think you're like as new as you think. Now, also, let me get a little weird and woo with you guys. I believe in soul contracts, and I also believe that our soul is here on earth for a purpose. And so, for some of you, you probably have an advanced soul, right? And you're here on a bigger mission to complete said mission that you signed up for. Therefore, maybe you do feel new in this human experience, but there's so many of you here that are advanced souls with power and magic and gifts that the world needs, and you're allowing your human self to hold back your soul's mission. Who here thinks you're doing that? Or who here is like, what the fuck? What are you saying? What are you talking about? I see, I am woo, but I also am grounded with the woo. You know what I mean? I've made that money by selling a product, but not myself as a coach. Okay, so Vera, again, you are capable. You even have proof that you can make that amount of money, but you need to stop looking for proof that you could do it elsewhere and make a conscious decision that that is what you're going to do and want to do. I get stuck in the fear of success. Karina, you have got to let that story go and allow yourself to be successful because you say you want it. Stop living by that story as if it's true and make a conscious decision that you are worthy of success. Oh no, so sorry, cut out right at the crucial moment. I'm new as in not had anyone paying, but okay, but yeah, I have so much experience in so many things. Ooh, especially in my niche. Gemma, for you, okay, so for all of you who don't know this here, who are new to my world, I get visions in my third eye, can see images and pictures. And I thought everyone had this. I was like, oh, everyone can do this. And I had a client, a one-to-one client this year. Who is a psychic medium. And when I was telling her about this, she was like, no, everyone cannot do that. And that is a powerful thing that you have. And I was like, oh, nonetheless, I digress. Gemma, I had this vision when you first posted in my community group. It was like this week. Was it yesterday or Sunday? I don't remember, but you posted and I immediately had this vision that that you're not new. There's something there that like you just need like a structure or like a roadmap. You just need someone to give you the pieces, but you know how to execute on the pieces. And so I immediately thought to myself, she's perfect for my mastermind. But then yesterday you were in here and you were like, I haven't made money yet. And I was like, this is not matching this vision that I'm getting of you. Like there's something there. And so I think that you're in this identity, like you're ready for this stuff, like you're in this place. But I think for you, you're holding yourself back with this story of like, I'm new, but you're not. You just need the plan. I think that you're like ready to execute said plan, whatever that means. Okay, yes, 1,000,000%. I love the woo woo. That's me. Okay, I agree with you. Seem confident. Yes, you do seem confident for a newbie, And I say that lightly because I don't feel like you're new the way that you're portraying. That's what I've been doing. My soul is not new. Okay. I know sometimes when I speak on something, I hear things come out of my mouth that totally surprise me. Oh my God, same. Say I do this where I can channel messages and then I'll be like, what was that? Who said that? If people are watching right now that are not spiritual or woo, which I highly doubt you would be in my world, or probably like, what have I entered? Okay. Yes, Karina, you also have proof that you're successful. You have proved that over and over and over again. Karina is in my mastermind. She has launched offers, sold offers. People beat her door down to buy from her. People want to know, why haven't you posted? Where are you? Where's the podcast? Every time she drops an offer, people buy it. Okay. She signed 90 clients in 90 days. And Karina is like, I don't know. I'm fearful of success. Girl, there's people in this room that are like, Karina, we wish we could drop offers and just make money. What is going on? Yes, it's the structure that I need. I've created a great, okay, cool. For a group program, I see myself as more than a mentor, more than a like more than a coach. Oh my gosh, Gemma, you are in the perfect place because I'm about to like pull this out of you. I can feel like this fire within you that you have, which here's the thing. If you have, again, if you have this like big vision for yourself, you are in the right place because you just need a plan and someone to hold you to the fire that already exists within you. And when you have a tangible plan and you have someone to hold that fire to you as you go through it, it will change your life and your business. Yeah, Karina sold things out of her garage to join my mastermind back in 2022, I think. Was that right, Karina? Yeah. Karina was like, I will be in your mastermind. I don't care what it takes. I'm getting in there. And she did. And has blown up, multiple TikTok accounts, thousands of followers, a podcast. Like, hello? Karina's fearful of success and she's already created it and doesn't even know it. She's already successful and pretending she's not. Okay, let's get back to the work that we're doing here. I know we're a little off track. We're having fun with it today, right? Okay, so let's talk about, can your business do that and what is required to do that, okay? In my world, I teach something. I'm going to pull this board over here towards us. Don't mind me. I'm casual on bottom today. I'm going to pull this board over to us and we're going to talk about what is actually required to make your business do that. Can your business do that? Okay. This is something very simple that I walk my mastermind students through. This is like step one, called mapping your model, your business model. Okay. I want you to operate as the identity of you that makes multi-six figures. And then I want you to do something with your business. Okay. We're going to start at this bottom here. I know you can't read the words. I'll get to it. The bottom here, which is your scalable signature offer. This is one too many. This is not a high ticket mastermind. Okay. My expansion room mastermind that I've been talking about this week that's open for enrollment is a high ticket $10,000 room. I deliver one-to-one coaching to everyone in that room. Therefore, it is not like 100 people is going to be in that room, right? It's going to be a smaller container, a smaller room at a higher price. It is scalable to multi six figures because it's 10K, right? So 10 people is already $100,000 as is. We already have 7, I think, or 8 enrolled in there already. So what I'm telling you is that is not what you're doing in this room in year 1. You might do that in year 2 or year 3. Or if you already have this, we'll talk about a high ticket scalable offer. I want you, what we're going to talk about today is a signature scalable offer that you're known for. For me, this is Breadwinner Energy Academy. It's a $2,000 offer. I help women become the version of themselves that builds an empire. It's shadow work, it's identity work, it's nervous system work, and you step into and embody your highest self. That container, I could put in 500 people because it is created to do that. It is created in a way where I come into that room twice a month for 90 minutes and coach people live and coach and give feedback. Outside of that is your course portal, community, live events, and then like whenever I drop courses. Meaning the delivery on this offer is scalable to hundreds of people and nothing in my business would need to change. Okay? Therefore, I can already make 6 and multi 6 figures only off this one offer. Even if I add nothing else to my business, I could just have a way to get leads and I pull these leads down straight into this offer and make money from this offer and make 6 and multi 6 figures from this offer. That is the simplest way to grow your business to your first 6 figures. That's how we keep it really easy. Okay. So you're probably like, okay, well, what's in between this? What is this magic? What is this stuff? Okay. At the very top of our funnel up here is where you get people in your world. Social media is not a lead generation pipeline. Okay, I need you to hear me. Social media, posting on the internet is not a lead strategy. Can it bring you leads? Yes. But who here posts online on a regular basis and you're not pulling in 2,000 to 10,000 leads a year? Karina, you don't count. Stay out of this. Everyone else. You post on social. Does it bring you thousands of leads? Does it bring you consistent leads so that it's predictable? If the answer is yes, then we also need to have a secondary pipeline for you. For most of you, you're going to tell me no. I've been posting on there forever and it doesn't bring me consistent leads. You need a lead pipeline. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. If though, at the top of your funnel, you're spread, you have a free Facebook group, a free Telegram, a free broadcast, you have social media, 5 social platforms, and then you have an email list, and then you have a podcast, and then you have a YouTube. You are spread thin. There's only one of you, more than likely, maybe a VA on your team, but you're so spread thin, your attention's so spread thin, and all you're doing is marketing and content, which is not the same as driving leads. You need a system to bring leads to binge your content to then come into the rest of your funnel. This needs to be simple AF. Now, if you're a person that is a verbal processor, you talk, that's like your voice is your magic is your voice. You need a podcast or somewhere to share your voice because that is your magic. If your magic is in your mouth, stop typing words on the computer. People don't want your words, they want your mouth. That's your magic, use it. So when people say to me, well, I know this works for you, or, well, this is what my last coach said is trending. I don't give a shit about trends. I want to know, is this based on your magic? Does it fit your life as a mom, someone with chronic illness, someone who is a projector, someone who's a manifester? Does this fit you? And then does it fit the ideal client that you have? If your ideal client is, let's say, a sex worker, and you're let's say on like at your neighborhood church looking for sex worker clients, she's probably not hanging out at your local church. But that's what's happening is you guys are posting on Threads and your ideal client is like, I would never get on Threads, right? She's like, I'm a sex worker, stop going to church looking for me. I know I'm being dramatic, stay with me, okay? Once she gets into your world, she's come to your social, your podcast, whatever it is to nurture her, you're then going to sell her to your signature offer. What happens is there's a gap right in between those. Some people will go straight to a signature offer, not everyone. And you will need to do something with those people. A live event, a free live event, a live proximity offer that you run for 1 week, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, small, right? Or you have maybe have like a course that's already created and you're like, you're not ready for this yet. Come to the core, come to the live event. Okay. When she comes to the live event, she's like, oh my God, you're amazing. I love you. She comes to your offer. Let's say she doesn't buy. So she waits for your next live proximity offer. She does this. She's like, oh my God, you're amazing. She buys your offer. Let's say someone else though didn't buy, so then they get one of your courses, right? What happens is we're cycling leads, okay? So we're bringing in leads into our business, bringing them in, we're warming them up with content, posting, marketing, whatever. And then we're making offers to them. I made an offer to you guys to join my free community. You did. I made an offer to you to join this live event. You did. I've made offers to you guys to join, to buy my courses. Some of you have. I've made offers to join Academy. Some of you have. I'm making an offer this week to join my mastermind. Okay. This is like step one, mapping out a model and a process of making 250, 700K, 800K. Can your model do that as is? If not, what needs to change? Do we need to change pricing? Do we need to change structure? Do we need to get our math together so we know how many leads and where to find them and then where to put them? This is step one of many that happens in my mastermind, the expansion room. Applications are open. If you want to know how to do this. Now, for some of you might be like, this is so complicated. What is more complicated is posting on social media, hoping people buy. And 3 years from now, you come back to me and said, I wanted a $250,000 business and I never got it because I never created structure, systems, or an ecosystem. Because I will tell you, my business generates over 100 leads a month. I don't run ads. They're not from social media. And I've grown a 6-figure agency, a multi-6-figure coaching business without social media because my lead generation pipelines and systems are always running. Bundles, summits, collaborations, Pinterest that funnels people into other things, which funnels them here. I do live events. I sell to people, right? You do not need half the things your business probably has right now that's kind of loading it down. You can make it really simple, but you need a system. How to get people, what to do with those people, make offers to those people, sell to those people, convert them. Taylor is an example. Oh, what is an example of? I have a podcast, but no offers yet. Let's see. Do you have to have the signature offer first? Ooh, good question. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Do you have to have this signature offer first? I teach you to have your signature offer first. Here's why. Your signature offer, when we build it together, you are really clear on who it's for, very clearly who it's for, the result, a tangible result that you're going to get people, your framework and your process that you take people through to get said result, which is going to build every single other thing in your business. Where you show up, where you get leads, your messaging, your content, your marketing, how you talk to people, what you talk about, what you're selling, and other offers. So, for an example, I'm right now launching my mastermind, right? My year-long mastermind, which is the expansion room, which I help service providers and coaches go from hustler to scaled empire. You work less, you make more, you have more freedom, more impact, and more money working less because you have a strategic ecosystem built business. We build your 3-year plan, we execute year 1 together. Yeah. I'm now running I just did a proximity offer called the Rebel CEO, build your 3-year plan for 4 weeks. Okay. Then I did pre-sale to Mastermind, talked about 3-year plan, 3-year plan, 3-year plan. Now I'm doing a live event and talking about the expansion room, the expansion room, the expansion room. And then when this concludes, this launch next week, I will then move into talking about Academy, right? But everything in my business is built from my signature offer. Everything in my business is built from this place. It's what I'm selling, what I'm talking about, what my process is, what my framework is, what I do, the results I get people. And that's how I know how to do everything else. So this is why we build the 3-year plan and what we'll talk about tomorrow. because in the 3-year plan, you will know at all times, what are you selling? What are you launching? What are you doing? What are you talking about? To schedule your content, to schedule your pipelines, to know how many leads, where are they coming from? What's the process we take them through? That way, when you walk into launches, you have people, system, and structures so you can predict what your launch will do based on those things. If you're just throwing out offers and just randomly talking about things, I would guess you've made money, but it's not consistent and it's not scalable and it requires you to always be online. Yes? Tell me in the chat. Does your business require you to always be online, always be posting, always be selling? Like, you could live launch and you could talk and post all day and make money and get clients and get people to follow you and like you and buy from you, but it would burn out without you. And it's not even consistent. Yeah, that's what Taylor said in the chat. Exactly. If you want a predictable business, here's the thing. I have 2 kids at home, okay? Full time. One of them is 8. She does private school with a teacher and students, but it's online. She has her own schoolroom here, so she has a consistent schedule. But I also have a toddler. My toddler is on a schedule, but I have to be full-time mom to my toddler. My husband travels for his work, so he's gone quite a bit. We don't have childcare at this moment. We don't have family close. My business has to match that. I also have been healing chronic illness, chronic pain for 6 years, working on my nervous system because I had chronic pain from trauma. So my business has to match that. I cannot be, if I was the ones like, I'm the one that has to always be on every day in order for this thing to get leads, to make sales, to make money, to grow and scale, it would not. It cannot rely on me. It has to be a system that is fed from the top of the funnel from my lead generation systems. Then one of my lead systems, they go to Pinterest, they find a pin, it leads to the podcast. Right under the podcast episode is a call to action, a course, academy, freebie, and then my social media. So come to my social media and binge, or click this thing and go to my community, go buy something. Under that podcast page is a bunch of other podcast episodes. They could start binging episode upon episode upon episode. And because my voice is my power, being live is my power, talking to people is my power, they're immediately getting my instant power through my podcast. And I'm making invites in every podcast. Join the free community, get this course, come to this live event, watch the replays of this event, buy this offer. They're always being sold to. So while I'm with my kids and I'm sleeping and I'm doing things, people are going through Pinterest, finding me, coming to the podcast, binging my things, coming to the community here in school, where guess what? There's hours of free trainings. And through those hours of free trainings, I'm selling them the next thing. Before you know it, you've watched 3 of my master classes, you've been through one of my live events, you've bought a course, and here you are ready for Academy or Mastermind. And now you've come to me and you come to my DMs and you said, I've been in your community. I absolutely love your energy. I love your fire. I love what you do. I just want to know which offer is best for me. Here's where I'm at. Boom, perfect. I think this offer is best for you. Perfect. Now they're into my offer. And all of that happened while I was living my life up until they said, I'm ready to buy a higher ticket offer from you. Some people just come to Academy and buy it because it's open all the time. That's how that gets to work when you build your business this way. Okay. We're 3 minutes from the top of the hour. I have given you so much information. How are we feeling post day 2? Can your business do that? I want you to remember, scaling is a conscious decision. It is a mindset. Being new is a conscious decision and a mindset. Most of you here told me, I have big goals. I want an empire. I want to blow the fuck up in the next year. That's literally why you're here. That's the title of this week. I want 6 and multi-6 figures in the next 3 years. Are you going to start acting like it? Are you going to start investing like it? Your time, your money, your energy. What are you going to do to make this reality? You told me what you want. Now you have to make a conscious effort and decision to go after it. And the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the identity that you're operating out of. It's the only thing standing between us. Because if you consciously made the decision to be the version of you that creates the business, the next thing would be to problem solve how to do that. And what would you say? I know I want it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be here. I just need the plan. And that is what I provide in my mastermind. That is what happens in the mastermind. Yes, we do identity work because guess what? At every level, of expansion, your identity needs expanded and your nervous system needs something to ground down to. So we will do identity work and capacity work, and then we will move into planning and executing your plan for your business that allows you more time, more freedom, more impact while you live your life. Yes, you will have to work. Yes, you will have to build it. Yes, there will be pieces of you that need to do the work and build the business and execute the business, but you will also have way more time and freedom than you ever thought was possible. That's what happens in my mastermind. The applications are open until next Wednesday, October 22nd. If you have questions, you can message me on Instagram. I'll put it down here in the chat. Feel free to reach out on Instagram and ask me. A lot of you have messaged me, and I love it. Keep it coming. Like telling me your life stories. I'm like, yes, I'm obsessed. Tell me everything about you and your business and the life you want. Tell me everything. Okay. How are we feeling? Post call one. Post call two. How are we feeling at the end of it? Need to set up systems. Yeah. Yeah, there needs to be a process, an ecosystem. And I do it in a way that this is not a one size fits all. So some people's scalable signature offers, like one of the women in my group, hers is asynchronous, meaning she doesn't want to be with her clients in the delivery. She wants her business to be asynchronous, meaning she's not on calls. You get to do that. You get to build a business that does that. My coach, who makes multi 7-figure years, does 0 calls on her schedule. And I love being in her container because I'm self-led and I don't need her to hold my hand. My groups have calls. I like to do calls because being live with my students is my magic. So I build businesses that work that way will also allow me to live my life. So when you're in my container, your business is going to match you, your life, what you want, and the way that you should build your business. For some of you, you should never do proximities or courses or live events, or we'll talk about what that would look like. And for some of you, you need to do that, but I wouldn't know until I'm in your business, right? Everyone's is going to be different. Okay. All right. We are at 1 hour. Thank you all for being here. We will be back on Thursday, not tomorrow, Thursday, 12 p.m. CST. We'll be live again. And I'm going to tell you about the 3-year plan and how you can actually put together a long-term scaling plan. Remember, scaling is a conscious decision. Growing your empire is a conscious decision. You have to decide first that this is what you want and operate from that place second, right? All right. Thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.